Here's an example where we'll take some data from the Maricopa County flood control, which will be a text file of precipitation, and pull it into Excel and manipulate these data. So here's the website, and if I go to this rainfall data page, I can find a station. So here you can see the map. If I want to find a site near to ASU, so you can see all their stations. They have a lot of sensors. I'm just curious about rain in Tempe. So here just south of ASU is what they call the ASU South Station. Alright, so let's go back here. So let's get single sensor data. Select a sensor, ASU South. Starting date, let's do the last few days. So August 30th, 2015, starting at midnight. Let's go to this morning. – 8 a.m. Report interval, this was confusing for me at first. This is the how often it has a sample, so every 5 minutes. So let's generate the report. So here the data are, you can see it's going backwards in time. September 2nd, this is the time of day, and then rain, so there was last night's rain, yesterday, so on. So let's pull these data into Excel. And if you shift, we get it all. So now copy. Let's launch Excel and then just paste. So what you can see is it literally pastes it. So now let's clean some things up. So grab this, move it up out of the way. The thing you can see is that Excel has put the time of day in and then the inches of precipitation in the same column. So we want to separate these into two columns so we can plot them. So let's do text to columns. Take that single column, and here we can do delimited or fixed width, but let's just try delimited with assume that a space is what separates them, and then treat consecutive delimiters as one, so there might be several spaces in there, but we'll just use them to split it. So you see that break is in there. So say next and then finish. Okay, so what you can see is we've got this 800 is really a problematic number because it's supposed to be 8 o'clock. So we're going to have to do some work. The final goal is we want to be able to plot this in sort of cumulative days versus precipitation. So I've put a couple columns in here. Let's actually add a couple more. So just highlight this column, insert, just get some space to work. So the first thing I'm going to do is say, take this column to my left, just divide by 100. 8. Okay. We'll do a few so we can see how this looks before we do all of them. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something. I'm going to use a command called floor, and what that does is it just kind of rounds down to the nearest integer. So if I say equals floor of this number, and then significance is which integer, so the first one below, so let's say is 8, but you see these other guys go to 7 and 6. Okay, so that basically gives us the hour of the day. Now we need to get this 55 out here, and remember these are 55, this is 55 minutes, so it's not 0.55 really. So now what we're going to do, say equals this time, this column minus this one. Okay, so there's nothing there, but we isolate those numbers we put on the right side of the decimal place. Now we're going to pull them back. So what we're going to do is say, let's just look at this one for a moment. So say equals, open parentheses, this number times 100. Let's look at what that is. So that's 55. Okay, so we're back to having minutes. But now, if we divide by 60, we've got 55/60ths, so that's the portion of an hour. Okay, so paste. Let's take this, pull it down. So you can see, so like here 7:00 is, this would be the hour, and this is the portion of the hour. Okay, we're making progress. Now let's, looks like we might need another couple columns. So if we say equals the hour plus the portion of the hour, and we format as not as a date but just as a number, and fill down, you can see, okay, so 7.00 is the is 7 o'clock, and then as we each 5 minutes we go through to 8 o'clock. So this is then if we think about, okay, so that's the hour of the day. Now if we want to do portion of the day, so this just takes, we know the number of hours in the day is 24, so we just take this number /24. Again, format this as a number. So 8 a.m. is a third of the day, and then as we go to earlier in the morning, there's nothing in here yet. We see 6:30 is 0.28 of a day, or 6:50, sorry. Now, finally, then we can do one thing, which is if we take these days over here, and instead of having them be formatted as date for right now, let's format them as a number. So what that is that's a sort of a way that Excel codes days. But what we can do is take that number, and if we add it, so we see equals the day plus portion of a day, and again keep this for now formatted as a number. You see it's that day plus the third of a day. Alright, so now we're really getting somewhere. So this is the day. What we can do is then go back to the, sometimes it's good to, if we go in here to date, and let's get date and time and fill down. So now what you see we've done is we've tricked it to take the number we had before, but now it's the day plus the time of day. So now we've got the dates in the right format that we can read them as humans, but also Excel is treating them correctly. So now we're ready to go. So let's just fill this out. So let's just do a spot check. So this was August 30th at 30, so that's 00:30, and so that's, you see it comes out here. So it's going to work. So the only thing we need to do is we have these gaps in here, these empty rows where we transition to the next day. Right here is an empty one. We need to clear that out. Let's go to the. So now finally we're ready to go, and this is, so we just pull this down. We can take these two, and if I do Shift Control down arrow, I select the entire range of data, and I can now do Insert. Let's do a connected line. And so this would be the precipitation over time. So that's kind of the precip for every 5 minutes. It's a pretty good chart, but maybe we'd like to see the cumulative. Okay, so we saw that it was that precipitation for every 5 minutes. It's a little bit harder to see. So now let's do a cumulative one, but this time we want to start at the bottom because we want to have this initial value be equal to 0. And then this next cell we're going to say equals what it was before plus what it is now. And so then if we just copy that, so you can see we get the cumulative PPT. So we can come over here to right click. So if I right click on it, I can, let's add a series. Let's add some more. So series name is going to be cumulative PPT. And the X values are going to be the same. These are these guys. And then the Y values are going to be the that cumulative. So let's clean this up. And notice I've got I went to 10. I need to go to 11. So let's edit that. Cumulative PPT. Maybe let's just give this in inches. So now what we can see is that there was a heavy rain early in the night of the 31st to the 1st.